What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about solfege and the number system. For most examples today we're going to be using the key of C major. The reason we're going to be doing that is because that key naturally has no sharps or flats. So we use solfege and the number system to describe where those notes fall in that key in their relation to each other and how they may be similar or different from other notes in that key. Quick note on how music is typically taught. In school, a lot of us are taught to learn the lines and the spaces separately. Sort of every good boy deserves fudge, right? Or FACE. For me personally, I found that more confusing than it had to be. It seemed like we were adding an extra step. Reading music is a lot less scary when you realize that there's only 12 notes that we use in Western music, and there's only 7 letter names that we assign to those. Those note names are, and bear with me here because I know it can be a little tricky, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, with a few spaces in between. Now solfege is a device used in music to describe these scale degrees. Solfege is useful because it allows us to put names on these notes without even having to actually know what notes they are and still be able to describe their relationship within that key. Without even having to know what key you're in, you can talk to other musicians using solfege. As long as you can figure out the root note or tonic of the key that you're in, for C major that would be C, solfege will always be the same, and you can always use it to describe the different notes in that key. Many people have heard of solfege. In the key of C, you'd start on C, and that would be Do, and you go Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Now without knowing any other note names in that key, you've just sang all of them, and you could say, hey, play the So. So. There you go, with So. The steps between these scale degrees are known as intervals. That's how you step from one note to the next. So from Do to Re, that's a whole step. And we call it a whole step because everything's related to this natural major key. Re to Mi is also a whole step. Mi to Fa is actually a half step. Mi, Fa. Now, there's a pattern for building a major scale that will always be true in intervals, and that is this pattern here. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, and you'll arrive back at that 1. Now, you'll notice that solfege has 7 different names for the 7 different notes that we're going to use. Starting on C, that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. But of course, there's 12 notes that you can use. As you can see in the key of C major, on the piano keyboard, that's all of the white notes. And that's exactly 7 notes, with that C being the 8th or the repeat. The 5 notes that we're not using to make it 12 happen to be the black keys. Now, if we were to use solfege to describe notes that weren't particularly in that major key, we would need some names for other than Do to describe the degree just above Do, but not at Re yet. Typically, we do it in one of 2 different ways. If you're going up the scale, you use the I or E sound, or if you're going down the scale, you use the E or A sound. So I'll show you that here. Going up the C major scale, chromatically, you'd say it like this. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, so, si, la, li, ti, do. There's all 12 notes right there. Going down. Do, ti, te, la, le, so, se, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. That re turns into ra. But that's the general pattern for moving up or down chromatically. This is where it starts to get really useful, because if I want to say, okay, it's in C major, but it's like the Simpsons intro, how would I describe that in solfege? It would be Do, fi, so, instead of Do, fa, so. That's not right. The Simpsons is The Simpsons, Do, fi, so. Could do that in any key. Switch to another key. Do, fi, so, do, do, fi, so, do. It's all The Simpsons, just changing keys. That's where solfege comes in. And now we have names that we can assign to every single note in any key without even having to use real note names. That's the beauty of solfege and why it's such a wonderful communicator for musicians. Along with solfege, we'll also assign those degrees numbers. And so this is the number system component of it, which is also very useful. The number system as it corresponds to solfege goes like this. Do is 1, re is 2, mi is 3, fa is 4, so is 5, la is 6, ti is 7, and do is 1 again. So to do the Simpsons example again, we would have to go not 1, 4, 5, it would be 1 sharp 4, 5, right? So that's an easy way again. The number system is parallel to solfege in that way. It can be used in the same way to describe scale degrees. The number system is extra helpful too because we assign it to chords and chord structure, so it's a very easy way for musicians to describe chord progressions. Using all the notes in the C major key without changing any sharps or flats, if you were to make triads, which is the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th, the do, the mi, and the so, of every chord starting on the C, first chord being C, E, G, that's a 1 major chord. Play the D, F, and the A, and you have a 2 chord, which is a minor chord. The 3 chord ends up being also a minor chord. The 4 chord is a major chord. The 5 chord is also a major chord. 6 chord is a minor chord, and the 7 chord is a diminished chord. Of course, you go back to 1, which is also a major chord. This is what we call diatonic triads, and that's really important in discussing chord progressions, because you would say, all right, let's play a 1, 4, 5 in the key of C. 1, 4, which is the major chord, 5, the so, also a major chord, also typically dominant 7 if you want to make it a 7 chord, and then back to the 1. Maybe instead of that we're going to use the number system to change one of those chords. So we say we play a 1 chord, then we play a 4 chord, and then we play a minor 4 chord. And we say minor because that's different from the regular diatonic natural major 4 chord. So 1, 4, minor 4, back to 1. Beautiful. Now that we have a basic understanding of solfege and the number system, we can use this knowledge in all of my future videos and any interaction you ever have with a musician. You can describe your favorite song in solfege. In fact, I challenge you to do so. Find a melody that you really love and sing it out in solfege. Quick example that comes to mind would be like Taylor Swift's Love Story. Do, do, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, do, re. That's that whole song is just do, re, mi, do, re. And that's why everybody loves it, because it's simple and great. So find a song that you love, sing it in solfege. Post some solfege in the comments and I'll try and figure out what song you're singing to me. So now with the power of solfege and the number system, you can describe any song that you've ever heard and you can talk to a musician about it in a way that they'll be able to play along, jam along, or do anything together. It's a collaborative language that once you've unlocked, you have the power to play music or jam or just vibe out with people that you love, which I think is a special thing. So thank you all very much for watching this video and we will see you on the next one. Peace.